Welcome back. It's Kovacs Report. We got a new number one from Marvel and a Spider-Man, no less. Spider-Man Noir by Erik Larsen. Yes, that's Erik Larsen and Andrea Broccardo on art. And the art is an absolute delight. Now, I'm going to go through it page by page. There will be spoilers, so please do read the book beforehand if you want to support. Like the video if you can, and of course, hit that subscribe button. I'd really appreciate it. It really helps grow the channel, and I thank you in advance. So let's dive in. Cool cover here by Simone Di Maio, I think. And this is a new relaunch, reimagining of the Noir character. So you do not need to have read anything else before. It doesn't continue from anything else. It's all new, which is really good. So let's dive in. It is a mixed bag, I will say. Now, first, let's just talk about the art, because boy, is this art beautiful. Every single page is just a delight. I cannot believe how good this book looks. And it really does strengthen an okay story. So let's dive straight in. So this is supposed to be a noir version of Spider-Man, okay? A bit more serious, a bit more pulpy, private eyes, detectives. She walked in the room and everything went silent, that kind of thing, right? It doesn't really capture that. It plays a lot on humor, which doesn't quite fit in some of the times. Anyway, let's get into it. So, Spider-Man Noir, we're introduced to him. He says, might you think that being a world-famous costume crime buster with the proportionate strength of a spider means my life would be hunky-dory, that everything would be just swell? It turns out it's not. It's not all peaches and cream. So we find out that after his recent spate of globetrotting to other countries, times and dimensions has taken its toll back home, Mary Jane and him called it quits, and it's not looking too good. He's that usual Peter Parker. He's struggling to pay his bills. He's looking after his art, that kind of thing. Now, we're set in 1939 here, and he is chasing down the Scorpion Gang at this, seafront warehouse, I take it. And the bullets are flying. The goons are all there in their costumes with their little scorpion masks on. But just look at it. Doesn't it look good? It looks really good. Now, their story here is actually quite interesting, except we just get pages and pages and pages of quips, of gags, of jokes. And it gets to the point where you're thinking, is there anything else to this? And it eventually does get there. Anyway, as you can see, these cops have been shot, and they are off stealing the goods, this Scorpion Gang, lots of jewels and things. And the big fight ensues, and he just talks and talks and talks. He doesn't shut up. Now, I know that's kind of synonymous with Spider-Man, but this, honestly, I got through the first 4 or 5 pages and I thought, I've got to stop. I've got to take a break. I'm so tired of hearing old Spider-Man Noir here constantly dropping jokes and explaining what's happening that we're actually seeing anyway. The dialogue is hammy in these first few pages. Eventually, they subdue him slightly, but he's like, haha, you've not got me, I've got you. And then, dispatches the rest of them. Anyway, this one seems to like shooting guns, and that's what he does. So he caps this guy in the arm, right? Throws some boxes, does some acrobatics, and he's still talking. He is still dropping jokes all the way. Now let's just put this in perspective, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 pages of basically one fight and jokes. That's almost half your comic. Anyway, we jump back to Peter Parker out of his costume, and he is a private eye. Yes, and his landlady is not happy with him because he is 3 weeks or more late on the rent. He promises to get the money soon. And the little kid, the little daughter of the landlady, kind of saves him by saying, it's Peter. We like Peter. Go easy on him. Anyway, he's struggling like Peter Parker normally does. He's got bandages everywhere, as you can see. Little what do you call them? Plasters, as we call them in the UK, band-aids all over him after his fight. And he's looking a little bit down until, guess who walks in? Yes, Gwen Stacy. Now, Gwen Stacy's getting a lot of page estate on a lot of books at the moment. I think because Mary Jane's sort of being so tarnished now that they have to sort of throw in Gwen Stacy instead. Plus, she's going to play a major part in the next movie, I think, or at least Spider-Gwen is. Anyway, I move on now. She's come to him because she needs to hire him. She needs to hire him because her father has been killed and she wants to know who the murderer is. Now, if you don't know about Captain Stacy, he's quite a huge character from early Spider-Mans. He was a very prestigious cop, okay, and eventually after some interesting stories, he was killed saving a child. So Gwen Stacy and the whole Stacy family, they've had tragic times all the way through Spider-Man's history. Now he's saying, listen, that's fine. I'll need to know what's what. I need some cash up front as well because, got to pay the bills. She says, that's fine. We'll talk about the money and get it all sorted out. So off he goes. Off he goes. Before he can do that, the phone rings. And this is Aunt May. And we get the usual stuff from Aunt May worrying about him. He hasn't been around recently, that normal stuff. So it's all very, very Spider-Man. And I like that. And again, every single page just looks beautiful. The art is great. The characters look good. Peter Parker actually looks like Peter Parker for once. I mean, if you look at a lot of the other Spidey books flying off the shelf, I say flying off the shelves, on the shelves, don't really look like Peter Parker very much. But anyway, here we have it. The usual stuff. So he set the scene. His aunt is making sure he's okay. He's down and out. He needs some money. He needs a new client. He's chasing down the Scorpion gang. Now, here we go. So he goes to see the coroner to check the body of Captain Stacy. Or rather, George Stacy, okay, because he's not a captain anymore, is he? No. And he sort of examines the bullet and he's figuring stuff out. Now, the cops bust in because he shouldn't be there. He's a PI, and the cops do not like him at all. And they send him packing. So he decides to come back later on that night in costume and take a second look to really, really figure some stuff out. And he finds some things. He says, something wasn't adding up. Thought I'd give old Georgie boy, another once over without the cheering section. He's still dead. Just wanted to make sure I didn't miss anything when I was in here earlier. Cuts near his face. What's this? Some kind of thread. I'll have to put that under a microscope back at the office. And then, of course, cops bust back in. He webs them up. All the cops turn back up. I mean, why are there 5, 6 different cops all just happen to be outside the coroner's office? I don't know. But there we go. They bust in and he escapes out into the city. He thinks, what's going on? It doesn't make any sense. Why the big police presence? Because that's the question I just asked. Why the vague answer from the medical examiner? Is it some kind of cover-up? Why would they care so much? George Stacy is dead. It's not like I'm going to make him any more dead. Anyway, the cops keep shooting as he jumps through the rooftops. And he's trying to think out, is it worth killing a man? What the hell is going on around here? Then he goes to see Gwen in their sort of townhouse, because she's collected some documents because he wants to do a thorough investigation. He wants to find out if there's any leads and any documentation in his office. And what he does find out is very, very interesting. He's got a safe. Now, why would he need a huge, huge hidden safe behind the bookshelves? There's got to be hiding something. Anyway, we jump back to the usual Aunt May Peter stuff where, she's worrying about him. He says, don't worry. And, they love each other. And then suddenly, and this is the thing, this next part is unsettling because it feels like it's rammed in here just to sort of for shock value and also to preach another lesson about fascism that, it's currently very, very much a hot topic throughout politics right now. So we get this Nazi bat, which is at the fairground, and he's stolen the fairground's money because it's going to help further the might of the Reich, to take over the world when they eventually, start World War II. And again, it's just thrust in there. Why would this guy be stealing pocket change from a circus? It doesn't make sense. And again, like I say, it just feels it's thrown in there to send a quick message. While we're here, we're going to quickly make a message about fascism. It's bad. And it has nothing to do with the current story, nothing to do with the Scorpion Gang. Why is it here? I have no idea, but it is. It's there. Anyway, he captures them, hands them over to the cops, and in the fights, as you noticed, all the money fell out of the bag, and he has $5 tucked in his armpit. That was must have got caught there when he was fighting. So he decides to go and get some food. Some food because remember he's poor, so he doesn't get to have a nice slap up meal. And he's got enough money to have whatever he wants. Then he gets back to investigating stuff. He says, I've gone through these papers 100 times. I looked over all of the evidence, and it all points to one thing. Captain Stacy wasn't the man he pretended to be to his daughter. He had a secret life that he didn't tell Gwendolyn about. There's a reason he could afford that fancy brownstone on a captain's salary. Seems he was doing a bit of moonlighting on the side. George Stacy was a member of the Scorpion Gang, okay, and his killer was Spider-Man. So there we go. It's a twist on Captain Stacy, who's usually the good guy in the normal comics, and apparently Spider-Man has killed him. Was it in that fight earlier on? I guess it was in that fight earlier on. Let's just go jump back, see if there's any clues there. I mean, they're all masked, really. I don't know if you can tell. Maybe that guy there that is shot in the arm. I don't know. But either way, it's not bad. Okay, I don't want to sort of dump all over it, but just the dialogue is so Erik Larsen, and I don't want to say nasty things about Erik Larsen. He's a legend, but it's just so overladen with humor, and it takes off that noir edge, which I guess what this whole point of this book was about. I was have that noir edge, that sort of Dick Tracy feel to it, and it really doesn't. The art really, really elevates the story. It's an interesting story. Okay, it's a modern twist, and I'm going to stay on the book. I don't know how many issues it's going to be. I guess it's going to end at maybe 5 or 10, probably, as most Marvel books do at the moment. But I don't know. I'm 50-50 on it at the moment. I like the idea of Spider-Man Noir. It's interesting to have a 1930s, early 40s Spider-Man swinging around the city. You got those classic costumes and classic vehicles. It's cool. It's cool. I mean, Gwen Stacy looks amazing there as well. So again, to talk about the art, Andrea Broccardo's character designs are so cool. I really, really like them. When I look at Peter, I see Peter. And if you look at that Spider-Man, Spider-Man 94, I think it is, the animation tie-in book that's come out recently. Peter Parker doesn't look like Peter Parker. And again, he gets messed up by every single artist. But this looks like that classic Peter Parker. And so does Gwen. Looks really good. So again, it's just, for me, it's all about the art that's holding me onto this book with a thread of an interesting story. We will see where it goes. Again, if they stop thrusting in these moments that have nothing to do with the book and are just the writer just trying to teach us another lesson and moralize to us again about current politics, for the love of God. I'm getting a lot of flack from people about mentioning politics in comics a lot because, I mean, can you not see that it's always here? It is in every single book. I'm sure Squirrel Girl would end up fighting some kind of fascist regime next week. It's like, I know, I get it. It's interesting. It's part of the world. And comics have always been political. But why do we all have to have it in every single book? It's tiring, okay? I do not read comics to find out what the writer's beliefs are, all right? I read it to find out about the characters and what's going on with them. Anyway, a little bit preachy at the end myself, but you know what? It's got to be said. It's got to be said. Anyway, that is Spider-Man Noir number 1. Okay, we're going to give number 2 and 3 a little go. I'd like to see what he does with Captain Stacy and Gwen. So there we have it. Let me know your thoughts. All right, please don't be horrible. It's just my opinions. You're welcome to yours, and you're welcome to ignore mine. But anyway, there we go. Like the video if you can, hit subscribe if you can, and hopefully we'll see you in the next one.